Welcome back again. So today we're going to be talking about phase 3 in the MAPS Symmetry program. If you have not watched my first 2 videos or 3 videos, including the introduction, I would suggest you do that first. I will also insert some cards here so that you can go back and watch those videos. I'll give you a minute to go watch those videos, and then I'll see you right back here. So now that we're all caught up, let's get into phase 3. This is the 3rd phase out of 4 in the MAPS Symmetry program. This particular phase is centered on building muscle and sculpting the body. Sculpting can also be considered toning, whatever. It just really means that you're getting more muscle definition during this phase. And so you should start to see more lines come up, like bicep lines, tricep lines, lines in your quads. A lot more of that definition should be showing through, especially if you're following a diet consistently. If your diet's on point and you're training this program correctly, you should start seeing some massive results at this point. All right, this particular sector of the program is 3 weeks long. So you run this same 5-day schedule for 3 weeks. Just like every other phase of this, you've got 3 foundational workouts, and then you've got 2 days of trigger session and mobility workouts. Those trigger session and mobility workouts in this phase is mostly done with resistance bands and body weight. You, of course, also have calf raises. Are we surprised? No surprise. I didn't think so. So you also have calf raises on those days. You're still doing both standing and sitting, and you'll be doing a lot of resistance band training. So the same kind of foundational movements that you're doing during your regular training workouts, you're still doing during the trigger session workouts. But they are with resistance bands and body weight, and they are a lot higher rep, and it's really to get those muscles targeted and get them working on I don't think heavier workout load is really good, because you're technically not using anything but resistance and your own body weight. But the higher rep range is going to give you different results than if you're doing lower reps with heavier weight. During the workouts in this phase, you will be using dumbbells, cables. That's mostly it. And then on your trigger sessions, you'll be using like an ab roller occasionally. You'll be doing a lot of body weight stuff, and then you'll be doing mostly resistance band training. Everything on the foundational workout days of this particular phase of the program, everything is 2 sets times 8 reps. So I took that to mean, which I could be wrong, but I took that to mean to use a pretty moderately heavy weight. So I pushed myself pretty hard on these 8 reps, and I have really noticed a difference by doing that. You can use a lighter weight if you feel more comfortable doing that. But I'm also on my 2nd time running this program, and since I feel a lot more balanced in my movements, I do believe that this is a stage where you do need to start graduating up your weight, because the next phase, you'll be doing compound movements with a barbell. To have the strength and stability to be able to run those compound movements, you're going to have to start putting some weight on the bar or on your dumbbells to really start getting a feel of strength, like real strength training. And so I recommend, since they do have 2 times 8 as the rep range, except for there's 2 exercises, Bulgarian split squats with dumbbells and then dumbbell step ups, they have you do 2 sets of 6. And I just think that that's because of what kind of exercise it is. It's a little bit more strenuous and you're doing more movement on the knees. And especially if it's weighted, you're going to have to be more careful. And I think they also program it that way because if I'm not incorrect, they do want you to start using heavier weights because the next compound phase that you're moving into, you're going to have to be able to move some weight. So that's just my personal piece of advice. If you're starting to do heavy deadlifts or starting to do heavy chest press with dumbbells, maybe don't do the entire 8, like split the reps up or the sets up into lower reps, but get 2 sets of all 8 done. I know that that is not how they fully intend for you to do it, but that might be a way to increase the weight and start getting the feeling of increased weight without having the pressure of having to do 8 complete reps. Maybe also just do a 1 rep max of something and then lower the weight and finish your other 7 reps on a weight that you can consistently move. But my biggest piece of advice is to just don't overdo it with the weight. Find a comfortable weight that you can safely move with good form still. That's what all of this is about anyway. What is the point of fixing imbalances if you don't have proper form? Always work on your form first, form first, form first. Doesn't matter how much weight you can move, it just matters how well you can move that weight. And do that with a manageable weight that's not going to be blowing out your knees, your shoulders, your elbows, because as soon as you do that, you're not going to be able to work out anymore, and then what's the point? So as long as you are moving weights that you know that you can move safely and with good form, you should start feeling some overall strength increase during this phase. You should feel stronger, and then you should also start feeling a lot more balanced in those movements, a lot less wobbly, especially on one-sided movements. You are moving into a lot more two-sided movements, or two-sided movement. You're moving into a lot more compound movements. In those compound movements, this is where it's getting ready to move you into the barbell of the next phase. This is why the resistance bands are so important. If you cannot feel the muscle that you're supposed to be moving, how do you know that you're working out the correct muscle? That's why I like the resistance bands. They're meant for you to do a lot of reps, yes, but also go slow. Really feel which muscles are contracting, which muscles are working, which muscles may be hurt because they're overcompensating. Really listen to your body, because the better and more balanced, the more balanced and even your movements are on a resistance band, the more balanced and even they're going to be with dumbbells and a barbell. I think the most important thing you can do on resistance bands days is to go slow, really try some muscle memory. It's also good to, like, for example, I just have a weak chest. I'm a woman, and as a woman, it's not your main focus usually to work your upper body, especially your chest, because there's a common misconception that if you work out your chest, then you'll have no boobs. I can get into that in another video, but that's not the point here. The point here is I have a weak chest because I am trap dominant, and so my back always wants to take over. So they have you do resistance band chest presses, and so I highly recommend, if you have a weak body part, if you can't feel the resistance band chest press on, like this side, for example, figure out where that pectoral muscle is that you're trying to activate. Hold it as you do the movement, and then that will send a signal to your brain, oh, that's where I'm supposed to be feeling that. And then if you don't feel it right there and you put your hand on that muscle you need to be activated and you're not feeling it there, let's look up how to do the exercise and maybe tweak the way that your arms are, your grip position. A lot of different factors can cause perpetuation of imbalances, and the whole point of the Symmetry program is to fix imbalances. So little tips and tricks like that can help. Say you are a quad dominant girl, not a glute dominant girl or guy, whatever. When you do glute exercises, like if you do some body weight squats, it might behoove you to figure out where your minimum or your minimus, your medius, and your maximus are so that you can hit those muscles. I'm not going to get out of my chair here and do a squat, but I think you get the idea. Same thing if you have trouble feeling certain parts of your quads. Maybe do some leg raises and touch on those different muscles in the quad, just so that your brain gets a connection to where your muscles are in your body. A lot of us spend time fully unconscious in our body. We have no idea what's going on in there. We have no idea even what's in there. It might be good if you are on a fitness journey, a wellness journey, just to get acclimated with your body and your muscles and know what you're doing. There's no purpose in doing anything if you don't know the purpose. Working out, having a healthy lifestyle is wonderful, but ultimately, if you have no education in what you're doing, you're probably not going to end up doing yourself a very good favor. Always look into what you're doing, research what you're doing. You know, if you want to grow your glutes, do some research into what the glutes are, what the different glute muscles are, what they're attached to, how you can figure that kind of stuff out. Look on YouTube videos. Google is always an awesome source for, I won't say always an awesome source, but I mean, they're a good source for a lot of stuff. Look up YouTubers with different videos. Athlean X is an awesome one. I can't think of a whole bunch right off the top of my head, but I'll have them listed in the description. Athlean X I mentioned right off the top of my head. Regardless if you agree with his whatever and his controversies, the man knows about the muscular structure of the body. And if you really want to know about different things, he draws on himself with a marker to point out exactly which muscles are where, what exercises to activate that. Regardless of how you feel about him or whatever, it might just be a good place to start just to get a basic understanding of the human anatomy. And then all of that to say, if you understand your own body, what's going on in it and what you're doing, it'll be easier to fix these things like imbalances. And I guess you can do all of this stuff without that education, but I just feel like you're missing half of the boat then, and you're going to end up sinking and get frustrated because something's not working, and something might not be working just because you don't know, and there's no shame in not knowing. So go do some research, look up some body stuff, and get connected to your body, because in the end, we all just want to be healthy and be conscious of what's going on inside of our meat vessel. Well, if you liked this video, hit the thumbs up, like this video, comment on this video, maybe share this video with your friends. I'll see you in the next one, and I hope everybody has a happy and healthy day.